Now moving on to the next speaker, we will hear from Mr. Kim Hyung-seok of Team Wink, which runs ALDA, which is an asset management service.
네.
Good afternoon. I am Kim Hyung-seok from Team Wink. We provide a credit management, asset management, and lending intermediary service called ALDA. Earlier, we talked about our mental muscles with Mabo. I think one of the situations when you find it the most difficult to make decisions is when you have to make money related decisions. When you don't have the liquidity to buy a house, you have to get loans. When you don't have the liquidity to do some activities or buy certain products, you may also have to consider loans. In the past, this took a vertical structure from lending from different financial services. And now the market landscape is changing. Distribution commerce is accelerating in the financial market. This illustrates the change. In the financial market, one of the fastest growing market is the lending market, and that's because people continue to experience inflations and people continue to lend more and more money. You have to make reasonable decisions to get reasonable loans for your own needs, and that's why our business decided to provide the service. Especially, there are more and more people who are going to secondary banks instead of primary banks to get loans. By next year, the secondary bank lending volume would be more than 110 trillion. And the problem is that the balance to loan ratio is still low at 18.5%, especially when it comes to contactless loans. So we needed to innovate the lending market. And that's why we decided to launch this service called ALDA so that we can help people manage their credit and we can help them manage their loan products so that it becomes more easy as well as effective to manage their assets. So we've been providing this service specialized for credit management, which has been met with a great market reaction. So as you can see, the motto for our company is "We make it incredible." It is the subject of our innovation, and in this case, it's the distribution of the financial market. So how will we innovate the distribution structure in the finance industry? In 2020, we began with credit management PFM. In 2021, we introduced the lending intermediary platform. In 2022 and onwards, we hope to create my data-based lending intermediary platform so that we can create ultimately my data-based financial distribution platform. So what are the issues faced by our end users? For example, if you want to buy a product that's 10,000 Korean won, you compare many different websites to find the cheapest price. However, when you get a loan in the size of 100 million Korean won, which is much more expensive than the product that I mentioned earlier, you just go to a bank and you ask for the loan because you don't have enough information about the different loan terms and conditions. When we had a look at our user data, we found that on average they have 5.6 loans and they don't have enough time or information to find out about the loan products and they don't know when and how much to repay, which can then negatively impact their credit score. And therefore, we wanted to help these users of loans, these borrowers, so that we can provide them with the right information about the different benefits as well as the terms and conditions of loan products. To do so, we focused on these three aspects. Number one, we wanted the users to know better about the loans. We wanted them to manage their loans based on this information and also find out information about prospective loans. And also we wanted them to know about the credit because depending on the credit, you can have different terms and conditions for your loan. So you have to manage your credit score. And if you look at smartwatches or IoT products, digitization allowed you to quantify your behaviors, which can then motivate yourself. And that's the idea behind My Data. We use My Data in order to understand better about your financial behavior and patterns so that you can use the services that are right for you. we have been designated as the Financial Services Commission's innovative financial service. We provide a feature called Find Customized Loan. It compares the different terms and conditions of different loan products as well as the different interest rates so that you can find the best fit for you. And then once you get a loan, we help you manage your loan. We help you repay your loan by telling you in advance how much you have to pay so that you can prevent any delinquency and you can manage your loan products. And next, we also provide solutions for credit management because if you get a loan, your credit score inevitably falls. So we provide you with ways to increase your credit score. For example, paying for your phone bills, paying for your health insurance, paying for your pension funds, etc., so that you can actually increase your credit score. So we launched this service 3 years ago, and we have a lot of users. And also, we create free services like credit reports so that we give information about how the other users manage their credit score. So in total, we increased an aggregate of 1.6 million points on a cumulative basis for the ALDA app users. And with all the data that's been accumulated by our users, we created this assessment model called ALDA Living Score. When the users provide us with their data, it helps us to analyze the data patterns based on credit card usage or account-based behaviors so that we can actually identify ALDA Living Score, which is basically an alternative credit rating score with our own assessment model. We hope to link this with My Data service so that we can help our borrowers get better interest rates as well as better terms and conditions for their future borrowings. ALDA Living Score marked in the 20-point range in KS score. In the 40-point range in KS store. The average is 20 points, but we scored 40-point range in KS score. My Data, we were designated as the My Data service provider in January, and it will help us advance our solutions and services so that we can enable the users to make more reasonable and informed choices. We provide data on deposits, installment savings, credit cards, loans, credit score, consumption. Within our in-app platform called ALDA Cube, all of this data is accumulated using our ALDA Cube platform, and we use algorithms to analyze the data so that we can provide customized services for our consumers. So that's our plan for the My Data service. And once this comes along, then the living score, the ALDA living score of 40 would become even higher. The consumers provide their data to us. They use living data to assess the loans, and they can actually take out the loans based on this living score. And for those borrowers, we provide them with debt management solutions so that when it's time for them to repay the loan, they can get another loan for repayment, and this creates a virtuous cycle. And this means that the users can actually resolve all the previous challenges that they had due to lack of information. I would like to elaborate a little more about the living score. In terms of credit cards, there's data on the amount that you used and derivative information, categories of payment, different days of the week, different times of the day, etc. All of these elements go into identifying your living score, and this also becomes the foundation for our My Data service. And in order to effectively use the My Data service, we continue to develop effective algorithms. And we have a cumulative number of 420,000 members, and the loans that have been provided through our solutions have increased 30 by 30 times over this period of time. And although there are regulations of financial authorities in this sector, we stay committed to helping our users get the best loans. To do so, we use algorithms, big data, AI, and security solutions so that we can provide safer and secure services for our consumers. Currently, we are working with 48 different partners to provide our service. And together with these partners, we are pioneering this new category called loan tech. We want people to manage their loans as well as their assets so that they can create a richer and more informed loan experience. And we'll continue to innovate to this end. Thank you. Thank you very much. Utilizing data is very important for startups, and I get a lot of questions about which startup has a particularly good use of data. And I think Alda by Team Wink is an example of using data effectively in order to provide service for the consumers. And during the healthcare service, the moderator mentioned this startup, New Base.